Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another video here. I wanted to do another one here on Modding 101, basically just downloading a really quick recap of our downloading without viruses. So we're not going to go over the ad block and all that stuff, but ding, just put myself a marker there. I'm going to put you a card over. So click that card if you've not installed ad block, don't have any kind of virus protection software. Right now I'm using McAfee, which is actually really good. I mean, I'm typically I'm typically just not in it when it comes to that stuff. A lot of times they really bog a system down, and sometimes, especially when they're running in the background and when they're doing stuff, especially try gaming, especially if you're doing online stuff, it's aggravating trying to keep up with updates and making sure that everything stays the same. If not, they just bug you to death about making sure you're up to date. But I really, honestly, in a year of using McAfee, I've never had to erase anything. I've never had to go back in and try to take care of a virus. I mean, I'm usually very baby this thing and I baby the computer, but for whatever, it's a pretty lean run. I like it. So anyway, let that be what it is. It's a good virus software for me anyway. I like it just for that little added bit of protection, and it's very reasonable at like $99 for the entire year. So I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. So especially if it means protecting you in a way. So anyway, I've got that running. I've got ad block running. So if you haven't got those things, go click that video, go check that out, and then come back to this one, because what we're going to do is go from downloading into installing, getting it into your mod folder, and then looking at how I prioritize a mod. So we're going to look at my mods today, which I know is like shining lights. Everybody wants to see my mods. So we're going to look at my mods. We're going to look at how I've grouped everything and what my little tips are for figuring out what's wrong with something, why something doesn't draw in, why something doesn't show, and then how I group everything stacked all the way up the ladder. So let's take a look here. I've got one of my bigger ones, and I'll put these links right here across from them down the bottom as well. And you'll see ATS mods. The first one we're at is modsats.com. This is a good one. I mean, they're all the same. Most of the time, one gets uploaded to one, and then it makes its rounds and gets uploaded to all of them. So basically, you find out which one works for you as to go through and actually look through and browse through. Okay, this is one of my faves. Another one that they do is atsmods.lt, but as you can see, you have to just scroll because they're all center line. And I don't necessarily not like that. I can't stand it. So what I like to do is this one, because you can get, what's that, 12 or 8? You get 8 of them instead of having to keep scrolling. So you get like 8 in about half the scrolling time. So let's just look at this first one here. Great Dane Single and Trouble Trailer Final from Cyrus the Virus, because this is a good one, because it's going to tell you that there's some things wrong just because his name has virus in it. You figure. So anyway, we're going to click download. And if you haven't watched that video, there's a Control W once we get back over to these. So it'll say right here, don't do any of this stuff. Leave all that alone. Do not ever do that stuff. You don't even have to view the block content off this. Just don't worry about any of that stuff that pops up. It's going to be a pop-up on any of the share mods or mods uploads as any of those, because see how we move it and it flickers. So that means it's an ad. It's just meant to be there and be a place card holder there. So as soon as you click it, Control W, and then you can go on with grabbing your download file. So after it downloads that, usually it sends you somewhere else, Control W. But see how my web advisor went ahead and stopped everything from going, so that way you don't get into that endless rotation of stuff. So this one's actually pretty slow, this one, because actually, I mean, we're sitting here at 5:30, so that's not surprising. So good thing is I've probably already got another mod in here. So let's just look, see what we've got in our downloads. What do we got here? I think some of this is all ETS stuff. Did I really just delete all of that stuff? I believe I did. All right, well, let's just pretend. I already got pro mods ready to rock and roll. Oh, truck trailer. Okay, so this one right here, this is the one we got. Truck trailer skins version. This for the Viva Mexico 1. So I'm going to set that off to the side, just like so. We're going to open up documents, ATS, mods, and then we're going to drop this in. Now we've already got it there, so we're going to just replace. Now let's go ahead, let's can all this stuff off. Yeah, we'll continue downloading, why not? Let's go ahead, let's fire up ATS and let's look inside. Now, we'll be looking for a couple things. We're looking for it to load in, especially. We're looking for it to load in. There it goes. All right. So the mod manager will have new mods. And so let's go ahead, and you guys are like, I feel like we need to have the music come in to play here. So here it is. Here is my mod list. All this is working. I had actually a lot more in it, but I cleaned it up today. I was trying to do a video that didn't really work out, but you know, it is what it is. So here we go. So this is it. This is my ATS mod list. So this is all stuff that's in there, all the stuff that's working. It's different skins, different trucks, different interior mods, different maps mods, you know, everything. So this whole entire thing is all that's in there. It's all active and it's all working. So let's break it down and let's check it out. We're still working on the list as well. I'm waiting for some trucks to get updated, like Vipers 389, those kinds of things, because I put the link up there and someone's going to go, but the truck doesn't work. Of course it doesn't, because it's not updated. So yeah, so just give me a little bit of grace on that. Okay, so now quick, Viva Mexico. This is the one we've been doing here in the live streams and whatnot. As we're looking, there's some of these. I should turn a light on to get me a little. There we go. So HBS resources, Mexico Extremo version 2.0, Mexico map. So all my maps go at the bottom. Now, how those maps go together, I can't really tell you. Like if you want to use coast to coast, if you want to use Canada Dream, I know it's Mexico coast to coast and Canada Dream. Whether or not they have multiple files on those, I don't know. But there's always a base that needs to go down first. Typically, it's like geographically bottom up. But that doesn't always the case. We just recently helped out a guy here on the Discord, which basically, which by the way is in the first link there in the description. So I helped a guy on Discord, and he was running the MHA Pro map, and I believe he had that on top of Viva Mexico, I think. I told him, he said, well, it doesn't work, and I'm missing all these cities and stuff. And I said, well, just switch them. Try putting the MHA below Viva Mexico and see what happens. And he did, and all the roads connected, and it worked. So sometimes things work, and all you need to do is you need to, you need to bounce back and forth and replace a few things here and there. Take it a little bit by a little bit, build up until you get it good. It may take you a couple nights to do it, but taking a couple nights to do it is better than not doing anything at all. So right here was that Skins Mexico, which goes above all of Mexico, and it tells you that as well. Now, the other things I've got is US expansion. This is the version 2.3. This is what these guys did. This kind of like the old project, the Project West. That was kind of an offshoot of the Pro Mods team for ETS2. So they came over and did a little things, did some advanced little add-on some cities and stuff. It's pretty cool, so don't get me wrong there. But after that, it's texture. So what I want you to do is think about, when we think about breaking down a mod list in a mod folder, I want you to do is thinking about looking at a picture that has been painted in a three-dimensional sense. Look at it as in layers that's been painted. I almost wish they would call this a draw order more so than a priority order, because that doesn't, to me, that just doesn't compute right. I like to think of things and draw it in layers and paint, color, those kinds of things. So the first thing is you got to have your base. You got to have what you're going to drive on, which is your maps. So have all your maps and have all that stuff drawn on. And then what goes on next to that is you're going to put on color. You're going to put on texture. So I've got new mountain textures, realistic roads, enhanced vegetation. And some of this is not the only way it can be. You can have it spaced out other different ways, but it's how I group it to better think about it from a mental perspective, okay? Modding is almost an art form. I mean, it really is. I mean, it takes practice to do it, and then learn, and then you've got to be able to keep up with it enough to know that, sure, some of this stuff's going to work, some of it's not. Now, here's just a little sneak peek there. If guys been asking about this, the modified 2.1, and we're in 3.1, but the truck's still in 3.0 or 3.0. So we got the open beta, dealer fix, and this. So what I do is I stack all of my trucks together. So we'll just do all the trucks that I have. That way it keeps them all in. So we got Kenworth, we got the 281, 378 Freightliner, and then we got skins. Now I did actually take, we got the Argosy, the VNL 670. So I did actually have about 3 or 4 other ones in there, and I wind up go ahead and cannon those. So let's go ahead and move this back down. There's Freightliner back there, and I've also got the cab over somewhere up here. There it is. Let's go and get the cab over back down. So you can see how I'm doing this. So I'm just moving this down to where all the trucks are, and then we'll put all the skins. There you go. So at least if I've got a truck problem, I know it's going to be in this first grouping, okay? Then everything after that is skins. I'm not going to worry about it because that's all just skins for different trucks, for different things, no matter what it is that I want. Now, think of it that way. So trucks, you're going to drive on the base of textured map. Okay, so we're now starting, from the bottom and working our way up. We got the base, we got the colors of the textures, we've got the trucks themselves, and then we've got the colors, skins on those trucks. And then after the skins on those trucks, you will look for something like accessories, which you're going to put on the truck. After the skins are put on. So that's kind of how I think about this. So we've got special transport, we've got extra parts, accessory packs, mega packs, the Mega Bowl, Super Bowl, Mega Bowl. Never mind. That's the semi-pro real feral, if anybody call that. Exterior reworks pack, rims, wheels. I put all of this stuff all into one category. It's like one grouping. And then you can see I put all of my dashboards all up from that bottom to the top. Now, the one thing I do put on top is the LED beacons pack. And that's more or less just like I'm thinking, well, you've got different beacons for different trucks. You've got different dashboards. I'm just like, we'll just put this at the top of our, our random stuff here, all of our accessories, and we'll kind of leave it there and we'll see how it happens. Make sure it draws on all the other trucks. Most of the time it's going to, but you never know. I mean, it doesn't have to go there. It just means it's just where I put it. You guys are always asking me what I do. Well, there you go. So next is going to be anything I like to put after all of that stuff. Real companies. If you've got real trailer packs, if you've got company packs, if you've got gas station packs like American gas stations, the same thing. I kind of run those all together. So we'll run real company gas stations if I've got them. I don't think I may have them in here, but it doesn't matter. I may have those in it, but I'm not sure. And then after that is where I start trailers. Now, trailers can be different, and typically what happens with trailers is depending on their weight of the tonnage of that they're pulling, that they weigh, their mass. That's kind of how ATS formulates where they go in your listing. So you can have things that are more important. Let's say you've got utility trailers that are all pretty much the same weight. Whatever you put on top in that little grouping is one that's probably going to show up the most. Or if you've got a particular skin you want to do, if you put that one a higher priority, then typically it's going to pull that one first before it pulls the rest of them. But now most of these trailers, especially when you get into heavy haul trailers, you can put Chris's 45, the Chris 45 trailers pack. You can put that all the way at the bottom of your trailer grouping, and it's still going to be at the top, because especially if you're doing like a bunch of heavy hauls and stuff, it's automatically going to pull that one forward first because of the weight and the tonnage that it is and the mass it takes up. So we've got XL specialized low beds. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 6 trailer packs in there, and all of them will show. Plus we have what the real company puts in, which is like UPS, FedEx. I mean, it puts in Staples, Walmart. I mean, you name it, it puts it in there. It's a pretty good little mod. But anyway, those right there are the main ones. Now, a lot of these are a mixture between Steam and a work outside mod site listing. The same thing could be like Steam. Everything's going to show up the same inside of this window right here. So inside of this window, whether it's an outside mod from a site or whether it's Steam mod, it's going to look the same here. Although Steam mods don't get downloaded to the same place that your mod folder gets dropped into. It's like totally different. So anyway, after that, sounds. Now sounds are tricky. But if you think about them in the same way, you think about your base and then your decorative sounds, then I think it's going to make some more sense here. So just like we did maps, maps, then textures on the maps, then skins, and then we did, trucks, then skins, then accessory parts, wheels, tires, then we did dashboards, then we did companies that these trucks are going to drive to, which was more or less like map stuff. But also the reason that it's there is because it also adds trailers to the game. It also adds skins. Sometimes those company mods will add skins for the trucks, but not always. Mostly just for the default stuff, never for anything else like custom. Those all have to be done separately. Then after that, then you've got sounds after your trailer packs. Sounds themselves can be tricky because they work the exact same way. So they're like another priority list inside the priority list. So the Sounds Fix pack, this 18.12 one, you can't get off Steam. It's the best one because it changes a lot of this dynamically and gives you a very, very, very nice sound inside the game, a nice immersive sound. Now with that, it comes with everything. It comes with new brake sounds, new gear change sounds, some engine sounds like outside engine sounds. I mean, the list can go on and on and on, but I use Coyote air brakes and I use Coyote parking brake sounds, Qualcomm and engine sounds pack. These are my 5 go-to sounds. These always stay in here. So you may say, well, what happens if you put this down here and then maybe move this down here and put your Sounds Fix at the top? Well, I want to hear that. Well, if you do, it's going to override the parking brake sounds and the air brake sounds. So that's what I mean. This is why putting this at a higher priority, make sure that these sounds will overwrite what is in the Sounds Fix file or a Sounds Fix pack. Same way with Qualcomm, it was just with a fatigue thing. So once you run off the road, it does this little ding thing. and lets you know and wakes you up telling you that you've run off the road. So parking brake sounds and air brake sounds both will override the sounds fix pack, at least on just the parking brake sound. All the rest of the sounds fixes pack will sound just like normal. Now also has some Jake brakes and engine sounds in that as well, but those will be overridden by the engine sounds pack. So basically what this one becomes is your base, your tire sounds, your inside tire sounds, your outside tire sounds, your ambience, your wind, your birds that are in there, the other trucks that you hear racing down the road. A lot of that all gets changed over from that perspective. And then what we do is we change over all the other stuff and the individual sounds inside of that and override them to make sure that we're kind of picking from like literally the best fruit trees in the grove. Okay. Now engine sounds pack comes with a slew of engines basically for every single truck. And then those trucks all have custom sounds. Now, some of those are better than others. Some work better with others, depending on how the modder has done with the truck. It'll provide you with a whole set, depending on how they've set torque curves as part of the default truck and the engine. Kind of the rest of that stuff bases off of that. So I mean, it's pretty cool, but it does add a ton of engines, does add a lot of sounds to those, which is why my trucks always sound good, because I always pick something out of this sound pack that sounds pretty slick. Now I do have the 900B. There's also I don't know if it's in here. Yeah, there it is right there. So there's also the one for the T800. So if I wanted to put those sounds in and just listen to those, I would go ahead, move this mod over, and then I would run it down here and play on top of this, because what's going to happen is the T800 sounds pack here is going to override what is in this engine sounds pack. So you can have kind of the best of both worlds. Now moving along, we still got another 620 horsepower for the Kenworth trucks. So I think I can't exactly remember that one, but anyway, that's another one. But I wanted to override the custom sounds pack. So that concludes my section on that. So now we literally going from map to textures to trucks to skins to any kind of add-ons to wheels to tires to dashboards to company mods. Now we're into trailers. We've gotten out of trailers, we moved into the sounds of all of that stuff working together. Now we're going to be looking at the graphics. Oops, got one there, shouldn't be. So now we got the graphics and everything that you want to do. Physics and graphics. Realistic graphics, any kind of realistic graphics mods could go up here. They don't necessarily have to, but this is where I've always put them, because it's going to affect everything underneath it. So, you know, it's going to affect the mapping, the trucks, the tires, the trailers, I mean, everything. So I typically put these all the way up at the top. Just so that it gets everything. Now I've got realistic vehicle lights here. Now this is one that allows you to see the lights on the road, like your front lights, and not just your headlights, but like your side lights. If you've got accent lighting, it'll actually reflect off the road. It's a pretty cool little mod. And then I've got my physics mods. So we got physics mods for everything, because it's got to go above trucks, above trailers, above all that stuff. And then the air ride is what makes your seat feel like it's up on a airtight like suspension. So put that in there as well. So put my physics mods together. And vehicle lights, I guess you could go anywhere. I mean, honestly, you could put those, whoop, not that right there. You could put vehicle lights up here on the top if you wanted to. I mean, it's just where that one happened to get put in there. And really that's about it. Now the one that you're seeing there, this Film IC lighting, this one is a nice kind of a high contrast, a desaturation of the map. So it takes away the bloom, it takes away all that really loud stuff, and really just puts this nice even tone glow over everything. So it's really nice. But that's going to be so that's pretty cool in itself. But most of that stuff is on Steam Workshop, and I'd say about 50-50. Half of what I have is from Steam Workshop. Half of it is from outside sources like Mods ATS or atsmods.lt. Modsats.com is another one. Those two are good. Modland.net has some decent stuff on it, but they're all the same. They all have the same share mod sites. It just is the way it is. So if you haven't, go grab something like a McAfee. If you want to, if you're looking for some type of stuff, I can just speak from, I can just speak from myself that it is pretty good. And then also, if you want to get ad block, go check that video out. I just linked it before there with one of our little info cards there, so you can see it and then go grab it. This will all be in the playlist of Modding 101 down here at the bottom of the main channel. So you got any questions on this, and ask, but I'll just please just understand that I can't fix everybody's mods. Okay, I'm trying to do this video so you guys can learn a little bit by yourself, because you won't learn until you actually visually see it yourself and actually figure and some light bulbs start going off in your head. So with that said, I'll go ahead and roll some social media over here on the top right of your screen there. Full Tilt Gaming on Facebook. Then you'll also be able to find me at Full Tilt, FULTILLED. That is at Full Tilt without the gaming there on Twitter. Obviously, Full Tilt Gaming here on YouTube. And then we do have a Steam community, which you'll see here roll over a minute. Hashtag FTG United. There it is. And those are my 4 big ones. I would say Twitter and Twitter and Facebook will be the best ones to do. But just try to reach out to me as you can. You take screenshots with your thing and say, hey, have you ever seen this stuff? What do you think about this load order? Does this look right? I mean, I'm not seeing any of this stuff. Have I done something wrong? Especially if you're learning. I don't mind helping out the community as a greater whole here, but just keep in mind, part of this too is for you to be able to use this video and kind of see how I am, pause it, play it, do whatever you need to do to kind of see how I've structured up my mod list. So let's go through it really quick one last time. Maps, and as to how those maps go together, that's out of my control for this video. If you were going to try to put 3 or 4 or 5 maps together, that's tough to do in any game, especially ATS. So mapping, then texturing. We're going to texture the maps, then we're going to put the trucks that drive on the maps, then we're going to put the skins that go on top of the trucks, and then as we move up a little bit further here, we're going to put all the accessories that go on the map, all the outside accessories that go on the trucks and the skins. Then we're going to put the interiors together, dashboards, wheels, tires, all that good stuff. Company mods come next, gas station mods. If you're going to do any kind of trailer pack mods with companies, those kinds of things go there. Then your trailers are going to go next, anything you're going to be pulling. Then your sounds files in any one of 2 orders. These 4 right here are the go-tos. They're all on Steam Workshop, so don't worry about that. Coyote Air Brake, Sound Fix, Coyote Park and Brake, Qualcomm, and Engine Sounds Pack are all on there. Actually, Engine Sounds for the 900B is on there. The V8 tuned Kenworth trucks and the T800 sounds are all on Steam Workshop. So there you go. You can actually grab all of those and be driving around and sound like mine. And then realistic physics mods, so your air ride suspension for your seats, realistic vehicle lights, because that's what shines down on the roads. And then your Film IC lighting, which really takes into account to everything. And that's why really have a beautiful looking ATS game without adding in reshade and all of this other funky stuff. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've gotten something out of it, remember, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more of these 101 modding sessions. I'm going to do my best to continue this as we get new stuff and figure out people have more questions for me. Also, you hit that top link there. You can also write up there in the Discord, say hey, as well as ask questions, and maybe even some guys in the community can help as well. And it's now that actually is getting dark in here, I'm gonna have to overexpose my light. But anyway, the shifter, steering wheel, all this stuff you can see there on the top. Actually, that's a terrible picture. But anyway, any of that stuff you want to see, go to that 3rd link, the Amazon affiliate link. If you're looking for any of that stuff, you buy it off of that link. You just add it to your cart from there. You'll see a little emblem down there that says something like influencer Amazon is the list that you got it off a wish list. And it works great, and that's something that I can get a little bit of a commission back from Amazon. It doesn't cost you a dime, so it's really cool, and it's a great way to support the channel and also get some stuff that you see here on the channel me using, because obviously if I'm using, I like it, and it's not just something that I'm pushing a product that I'm not really using, because that just doesn't make any sense. So anyway, that's all for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back and we'll do something here shortly. Don't forget, drop in and hang out for us live stream. Usually going live around 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So West Coast and Central, you guys are a little bit more apt for that. But East Coast, it gets a little late, I know. I totally understand. It does for me too. But anyway, try to come in and hang out with us for a little bit here. We're doing ETS, ATS. Right now, it's big ATS. But I do like sharing the truck sims all around and doing a little bit of both. So if there's something you want to see, come leave a comment on one of the videos. Make sure you leave it a like, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of this. So that's all for me, guys. I'll see you here on the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you got questions. Hit me up in the Discord. We'll see you there. We'll see you on the flip side. Keep on trucking. We'll see you over and out, guys. We'll see you.